MrBeast has had a rough week. He first had to release a statement publicly disowning his friend for being involved with the playground. And just as that news comes out, a 53-minute video from one of his former employees gets released detailing many instances of MrBeast's alleged fraudulent and scammy behaviors, where he's being accused of scamming his young audience and running illegal lotteries, which is a federal crime. In that video, this former employee talks about 3 key points. The first being that the game shows that MrBeast frequently features on his channel are alleged to be rigged and manipulated. The editing process is said to prioritize entertainment value over honesty, potentially compromising the integrity of the competitions. Secondly, the products that he sells, namely Feastables and Beast Burgers, are really closer to lottery tickets than actual candy bars. They are promoted with unusual marketing strategies that appear to target and exploit his younger audience. And lastly, he frequently conducts illegal lotteries during his live streams to promote merchandise, more often than not to minors.
Actually, that's illegal.
This practice is fraught with issues including forging signatures, failing to distribute prizes, and other unethical behaviors. And just 3 days after that video was posted, a former contestant on MrBeast's hide-and-seek influencer games with 14 million subs comes out with damning allegations regarding the upcoming Beast games. So let's not waste any time and let's get straight into talking about what is actually going on with regards to MrBeast's scam allegations on his game shows, his illegal lotteries, and the fresh out the oven Beast Games allegations. But to get into how MrBeast could be in trouble, we need to look at what happened with CBS's Survivor. You see, back in 2001, Stacey Stillman launched a lawsuit against the highly popular Survivor game show. She was the 3rd survivor voted out in season 1. However, she didn't take the elimination lightly and went after executive producer Mark Burnett and CBS. Stillman felt as though her demise was orchestrated behind the scenes. Stillman revealed that 2 contestants, Dirk Bean and Sean Keenan, were advised to take her out in favor of fan favorites Rudy Bosch.
Essentially, Stacey alleged that in the first season, in order to save a more ratings-friendly contestant,
he's fat, but he's good.
Mark Burnett, the executive producer on the series, approached 2 other contestants on the beach and essentially said to vote for Stacey instead of that other contestant that they were planning on voting for.
Eventually, there was a settlement for an undisclosed amount and she went back to her pre-Survivor life as a lawyer. But usually when there's a settlement, it means someone doesn't want the smoke. And why this is relevant for MrBeast is that in the US, the legality of rigging game shows is a serious matter and is governed by stringent regulations. The Federal Communications Commissions, or the FCC, enforces laws that prohibit any form of deceit or manipulation in contests, game shows, and similar competitive programs. The Communications Act of 1934, specifically Section 509, mandates that broadcasters must conduct contests fairly and transparently. Any attempt to predetermine outcomes, mislead participants, or manipulate results can result in severe legal consequences, including fines, revocation of broadcasting licenses, and even criminal charges. Obviously, MrBeast isn't a traditional broadcaster because he operates on YouTube, but I'm going to touch on why he still could be liable to these regulations after giving a bit of context. As I mentioned before, MrBeast often runs game shows on his channel, offering massive giveaways for prizes that range from hundreds of thousands to sometimes even millions of dollars. The issue comes with MrBeast influencing the outcomes of these game shows, which, as we've seen from the Communications Act, is illegal. For example, in this 100 boys vs 100 girls challenge with $500,000 on the line, one of the challenges was to see which group could solve 100 Rubik's Cubes the fastest. The losing team had to cut their circle in half, making it even harder to win the $500,000. When MrBeast noticed that one of the boys knew how to solve the Rubik's Cubes, he paid the contestant $10,000 to leave the show, which was double the prize pool if he had stayed. He also gave the girls a drone to try and spy on the boys' team, but fortunately this attempt failed. Whether this was to make the video more appealing because the girls beat the boys, girl power, or whatever reason it was, the fact remains that it was unfair and appeared to demonstrate clear manipulation. The next example involves a creator with over 40 million subscribers. Rosanna Pansino spoke out about her time on the $1 million influencer hide-and-seek video. You see, Rosanna was one of the contestants on the hide-and-seek challenge where MrBeast, or at least his editing team, had deliberately modified the footage, making it appear like she had performed worse than she actually had. This skewed the results in such a way that the top 3 appeared to be a trio of very large YouTubers rather than including her.
These are all the thoughts that ran through my head when I watched the video for the first time, because I liked him so much. I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. I was shocked, I was confused, I was upset, and I was going, maybe this was a mistake, but then he recorded voiceover and he said a blatant lie. So the voiceover in the video at the very end part says, I found Logan Paul literally 1 minute before Zach King.
Rosanna even had vlog footage that she shot the same day where she was talking about how she came fourth because she didn't know that Lorraine had been disqualified for falling asleep, which meant that she was actually third.
I got out of the X-ray machine right when Jimmy is driving by on a golf cart. Just, oh my gosh, just bad luck. But I made it to top 4, 4th place. So I'm really proud of myself because that's just a miracle. Never thought I would make it this far. And this has been an amazing day. Like, what is my life?
She went on to speak to MrBeast in the DMs where he refused to acknowledge anything and insisted on calling her to figure things out. Hey Jimmy, my intention of speaking up is not to be malicious or create drama. I was really hurt by the editing decisions you made. Editing me out of the top 3 and making me look like I performed worse than I actually did felt awful. Quackity was also edited out of the top 3 and he also talked about it. I have stayed silent for so long and it's causing me mental stress and anguish. It's not mentally healthy for me to have someone make me look worse than I am to millions of people. I would never do that to a fellow creator. Obviously, I wasn't trying to make you look bad. Just give me a time we can chat. I'm not mad or anything, I just want to help. Why did you lie? Why did you say in the video that you found Logan literally 1 minute before Zach? I outlasted Logan and was proud of what I had accomplished. It actually built some confidence in myself that wasn't there before. I don't know, been a while. Let's call and figure it out. I'll give you some time to look into it and remember, then we can discuss. I'm more than happy to review all the raw footage to help show the timeline of events. Feel free to send it over to my team. Let me know. Nothing came of it in the end, but usually where there's smoke, there's fire. And the responses from MrBeast were really shady. So now that we've seen what happened with the Survivor lawsuit and are starting to see a pattern of behavior of interference from MrBeast, we need to take a look deeper at code 47 USC 509, which is what Stillman from Survivor cited to eventually settle out of court. This code relates to prohibited practices in contests of knowledge, skill, or chance. The relevant section of the code reads, "It shall be unlawful for any person with intent to deceive the listening or viewing public to supply any contestant in a purportedly bona fide contest of intellectual knowledge or intellectual skill any special and secret assistance whereby the outcome of such contest will be in whole or in part prearranged or predetermined by means of persuasion, bribery, intimidation, or otherwise to induce or cause any contestant in a purportedly bona fide contest of intellectual knowledge or intellectual skill to refrain in any manner from using or displaying his knowledge or skill in such contest whereby the outcome thereof will be in whole or in part prearranged or predetermined." In layman's terms, it is illegal for anyone with the intent to deceive the public to use persuasion or bribery to influence a contestant to hold back their knowledge or skills in a contest, thereby predetermining the outcome, either entirely or partially. This is clear and straightforward. In the 100 Boys vs 100 Girls challenge, MrBeast bribed the boy who knew how to solve the Rubik's Cubes to leave, putting the boys at a significant disadvantage. He also gave the girls a drone to spy on the boys, further tilting the competition in their favor. In Rosanna Pansino's case, his editing team manipulated the footage to remove her from the top 3, replacing her with Logan Paul, a more prominent creator, which misled the audience. I mean, he's even in the thumbnail of the video. These actions, when viewed against the full scope of the relevant code, clearly violate one or more provisions aimed at preventing such deceit and manipulation in contests. Now, I said earlier that even though all of these provisions are essentially for broadcasters, MrBeast is not a broadcaster. He's a YouTuber that gets over 20 times more views than what traditional broadcasters would get. His game shows are more popular than anything you can find on broadcast television. And just as a disclaimer, I'm not a lawyer and these are just my opinions. And I'm sure MrBeast has a massive legal team behind him, but it does feel like some laws are being broken here. I can't definitively say when a creator whose media company vastly outperforms traditional broadcast television networks becomes subject to the same regulations or if those same rules apply at all. However, it seems clear that MrBeast is blatantly disregarding the principles of game show integrity solely to enhance the entertainment value of his content. But even if somehow he's able to escape the clutches of the FCC through that broadcast loophole, he's not exempt from the Federal Trade Commission, or the FTC, which oversees online promotions and ensures that they are conducted fairly and transparently. This includes misleading or deceptive practices in contests, sweepstakes, or any promotional activities conducted online or offline. According to the FTC guidelines, any game, sweepstakes, or contest must be conducted fairly with clear and truthful representations of the rules, chances of winning, and the distribution of prizes. Misleading participants or manipulating outcomes can be considered deceptive practices under this act, leading to potential legal action and penalties. This leads me to the next issue which MrBeast could face: repercussions for his lotteries. The FTC defines a lottery as any game, contest, or promotion that combines the elements of prize, chance, and consideration. Only government-run lotteries are legal in the USA. Anything else is a federal crime. In the video from the former employee, MrBeast's promotions repeatedly contain all of these elements. For example, in this clip here, MrBeast and his friends live-streamed themselves signing limited edition shirts celebrating 40 million subscribers.
Who are just joining, if you buy one of our limited edition 40 mil special shirts, we're celebrating 40 million subscribers with a really big video, then we will sign that shirt and some of them will get random prizes like this.
According to this alleged former employee, the content of that stream was a relentless barrage of claims that buying a shirt within the next 5 or 10 minutes could result in receiving thousands of dollars, an Xbox or PS4 or other valuable prizes.
5 minutes, we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to put $1,000 in a random order. Hey Daryl, don't we owe someone $1,000? Yeah, so, alright, so the newest order, in 30 seconds, we are going to put $1,000 in your package.
This is not an isolated incident. He has done this frequently, turning it into a regular practice. The prizes are genuinely valuable, often worth significant sums of money. By attaching large financial incentives to the purchase of an item like a shirt, he effectively turns it into a lottery ticket, boosting sales exponentially. This system exploits the allure of winning big, driving thousands more purchases of what is essentially a ticket for a lottery. And if it couldn't get any worse, some fresh allegations surfaced just a few days after the 53-minute expose. This time involving one of MrBeast's upcoming game shows called Beast Games, which is going to premiere on Amazon Prime. For context, Beast Games is going to be a reality competition show that will feature 1,000 competitors vying for a $5 million prize that is currently filming right now in Las Vegas. On the 27th of July, Rosanna Pansino, yes, the one from the hide and seek challenge, came out with a video with damning allegations regarding the current Beast Games, citing sources from the competitors, of which she claims to have 10 separate ones. One of her sources say, "It was really bad. People were having seizures because they were not getting medication even though we were promised we would, and it was 100% rigged. They presented it as though the game would be like Squid Games, basically a type of game show where all of the games are on an even playing field. That was not at all the case. All of the games were about speed and strength, so only the young athletic males were at an advantage over the women and elderly people that were cast. To make things worse, men started realizing that they could take out the women without being eliminated. Guys started tackling and hitting women. 2 girls were tackled and passed out on the field and dragged off to continue filming. I saw people with broken bones, stitches, etc. and most were women. We were given maybe 400-calorie meals and only fed every 12 hours. Food would run out and people would fight over, steal and hoard food. Water was scarce and kept running out as well. I had to sit with the bloody pad for 2 days before I could get undergarments and my reusable pads because I'm allergic to regular pads. We were also sleep deprived, only allowed to sleep 3 to 4 hours. We all slept on the floor of the stadium in a $10 sleeping bag. And apparently they were offered hush money, $1,000 to be exact, to sign away their rights to join any kind of class action lawsuit in the future. I didn't sign, so I did not get the money. After this article came out and things started blowing up, they called everyone back and decided to offer an additional $1,000 per person to make up for the inconveniences. To clarify, this person asserts that it wasn't Amazon Prime that contacted them, it was MrBeast's personal crew. Once one domino falls, the rest start to crumble. Numerous other articles have surfaced in the past few days, adding to the growing scrutiny. Ultimately, I think MrBeast is too big to fail. If YouTube was protecting SS Sniper Wolf, then they will definitely kill for MrBeast. But what do you think of all this? Does MrBeast survive this? Anyways, click here to watch this video about how Instagram enables degeneracy. You're definitely gonna enjoy it, and I'll see you in the next one.